welcome to the premiere episode of Conspiracy Couch. Can I get a 5-5 from you guys that the audio is good to go before I start yapping and there's some kind of problem? Anyways, great to be with you guys tonight. We totally didn't realize that the convention would be going on. Big whoops, but we really appreciate you being here. Yeah, so they say we're good.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, they say we're good in the chat. This is awesome. Conspiracy Couch, opening night. Here we are. I hope you guys like the intro music. It was really hard to find stuff, Foil. Like everything was...
you can't go wrong with Super Creepy X-Files.
Right. It was that or Stranger Things, you know? And
I
found what... Hey,
a valid option.
I sent you that one mix. It was Stranger Things and X-Files mixed together, and it was like trance. Oh, it was so good. But yeah, I couldn't...
Maybe we can alternate.
Copyright.
You know?
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah. There's always that.
Couldn't do that. Maybe I can work something out with the guy. It was perfect, you know? It was so perfect.
It went well.
So what do you think of my Pepe shirt?
I love it.
Can you
I think
tell
the see-through... Yeah, I can't... Yeah, in his little eyes.
Yeah.
His little eyes look great,
and you
right?
can see the couch. I think it's cool.
Yeah, the conspiracy couch. That's kind of that's the whole thing, right?
Yeah, I got the conspiracy dinosaur back there. I mean, look at the stuff
I love it.
Got. Yeah.
Right?
It's perfect.
Super sophisticated.
Hi, guys. It's really good to see you in the chat. Hi, Becky. Hi, Keystone, Brandy, Blue. I don't know how to pronounce Maghead Birdsong's name right, so I'm sure I completely mutilated that. But welcome, friends. It's nice to see you here. I know Trump actually speaking right now, you guys?
That's what somebody said.
Oh, yeah. Lord have mercy.
Right.
Well, you know, we appreciate the love because I know when Big Daddy's up there speaking, it's right. So how are you doing, Foil? What's up, man? First night.
I'm good.
Conspiracy
Super psyched.
Couch, right?
Right.
You can talk about whatever.
Right.
Right.
Ode to Art Bell.
That's right.
We got all kinds of good topics for you guys.
I missed that show.
Yeah. Oh, I told you that was kind of like my awakening moment was then that phone call, that super creepy phone call. What was it, like 1993?
Tell them.
They're not what they claim to be.
They're not what they claim to be.
Right.
That got her down the rabbit hole, man.
There's something coming, and they could be moving the people into safer places.
She's like, I need to start studying the Bible. I'm lost.
I was like, oh no, like we're all gonna die. No, we're not. It's good.
That's so funny. Oh, so I hear Ivanka's on now.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so yeah, I guess we better put the link in there. We have it up on the screen, but I better let me grab that link so that go ahead and
right. So we want to do kind of what, like a we want to kind of do like a live call-in format. I mean, we're looking for if you've had experiences, if you just have questions, you just want to chat about something a little crazy, we're open to that. Man, we're kind of formatless here. I think that was kind of part of the fun.
Well, I mean, eventually we want to get a dedicated phone line and have somebody screen the calls and all that. But we got to start somewhere. We weren't even expecting to do this soon. We were expecting to kind of do it down the line. So we just kind of threw it together. So I learned
by popular demand.
Right. I learned from Keystone about how to do the call in this way. So it works. You know, you can call in with the camera, without the camera. It's up to you. And we kind of picked some subjects to dive into tonight and some stuff, but it really, you know, these things tend to go where they go, right?
I mean, that's the goal. We want to interact with you guys.
Right.
That's part of the fun.
Yeah.
Right?
So, I mean, some stuff you were telling me about the Gates rabbit. We're going to go into the Gates rabbit hole a little bit.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite topic.
Yeah. So
he's definitely
if moderators, if you can keep the what do you call it? The link going for people to join the join the call, that would be wonderful. I just posted it in the chat. I'll post it again so you guys have a chance to copy and paste that.
Kate is here.
We don't, and it's up on the screen, but I'm not sure if that's going to be accessible for people. This is the first time we're doing this, so yes. Hi, Kate. Hi, Sarah. I'm sure I'm missing people because I'm not seeing it right now. But yeah, so you told me some stuff that just blew my mind. Yeah, I can't watch the RNC. That was a side thought, but I'm just saying I can't. I can't do the politics, man. You know, everybody knows I'm a libertarian. but I can't do the left versus right deal. Like, I don't live there. I guess to me, it's all good versus evil, and the TV is evil. So I don't really...
Everything has been framed as a dichotomy now.
Yeah. I don't watch
every
TV.
single thing.
Yeah.
It's one way or the other.
Yeah.
You know,
but I get it. I mean,
that.
if you do, I mean, I understand. I know a lot of people that do, and you know.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
I respect that if that's what they choose to do, but I'm just over it myself. But I would love to hear Trump's speech. I'd love to hear Ivanka talk. So that's... But anyway, so back to what we were talking about. Foil, you blow my mind like just about every day with the stuff you tell me. Like, real talk. And when you went down the Gates, I guess we should start there with the Gates rabbit hole, and maybe this will inspire some thoughts here. Hi, Mr. Fox. How you doing? Yeah, and so you were telling me about we were talking about the weaponized weather and the Gates, and can we
This
go
is
into
like
that?
the conspiracy of conspiracies right now.
Right.
I feel, in any case. I mean, aside from all of the, you know, I mean, we've talked about Bill Gates and pharma, like that's been done to death. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Oxitec, the GMO, the mosquitoes, which is kind of crazy. He actually genetically modified these mosquitoes to release them, you know, and they tried it in Brazil because that went so well. You know, they were supposed to breed with the native population of mosquitoes and die out, kind of help to control malaria, because that's what people who push depopulation want, is to, you know, save lives. Makes perfect sense. So they release these mosquitoes, and instead of, you know, them breeding and making weaker larvae, they actually make like these super mosquitoes, right? So then they decide, go ahead, release them in Florida, which they're about to do. But aside from that, and aside from his stuff with Harvard
wrong?
with him, no, yeah, right,
Yeah.
nothing. It's a perfect idea. It's fabulous, great if you're Bill Gates. You know, he was trying to dim the sun too, which is a whole nother thing, and actually kind of plays into the whole weaponized weather thing. But I kind of digress. Here's the point. Recently, we have seen a string of crazy, you know, natural disasters, right? And I mean,
look at the hurricanes that are going on right now.
Right.
At once. When does
At
that
one
happen?
time. Yeah, and the one, like, I don't know if I told you this, but I have family down there in Louisiana, you know, that literally I had to call today and was lucky enough to get my stepdad on the cell phone to make sure he was still alive. He's telling me his peach trees all blew down, though. He was very excited about that. But I mean, these are horrible, super strong storm cells. This Laura especially, but we saw this derecho kind of come out of nowhere, right, and just sweep through the Midwest, which happens to be, you know, the prime, you know, grain, corn, prime farmland. Now we've got this superstorm Laura coming up right through prime land again for rice, sugar. We see California's burning. And I don't know, for those of you who follow me on Twitter, you know that I've done a lot of research as far as, like, you know, I felt like I knew that our food was being targeted. I mean, we saw in California alone, there was 9 food-related plants in Vernon, California that had immediate spikes in infection, and then, you know, including plants owned by Smithfield, which is one of these major producers. I mean, it turns out that meat production in the U.S. is governed by relatively few companies. It's almost like media.
Stop talking for just a second. I gotta. It does that, you guys. Sometimes in OBS, OBS has a problem where it gets choppy once in a while. Can you guys give me a 5x5 and let me know it's fixed?
I saw them saying it was my mic. Is it any better?
Your mic. No, they might think it's your mic, but it's OBS.
It was the same issue we had the other day.
Yeah, I fixed it. It should be fine now. Just give me a 5.5, guys, if it's fine. Yeah, it's OBS does that. It once in a while it does that, and I have to reset the what do you call it?
Kate is saying it's better.
Yeah, it's good. Everybody says it's good. Okay.
They said I'm gonna have to repeat all that.
Right. Whoops.
I gotcha.
Yeah. So
I don't even know.
Where did she leave off before it started sounding crazy? It could take
what was
a minute.
What was the last? I know, right?
I don't know.
I said 5.5.
Completely not understand. So just start over
Good
the
now,
whole
okay.
thing. I hate when it does that, but I can't control it.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Okay.
I don't know if I don't know if you guys heard. I was talking at first about the GMO mosquitoes, right? So
Yeah.
Bill Gates was working with a company called Oxitec. Oh, they said the very beginning. Okay. Bill Gates was working with a company called Oxitec, and they genetically modified mosquitoes to release into Brazil. Supposedly, they were supposed to be mosquitoes that would breed with the native population of mosquitoes and make a weaker larvae that would die out faster. Is it doing it again?
No, my Zoom screen just literally disappeared on me. I don't know what's going on right now. Hold on. I'm trying to get it back. It just like literally disappeared. Hold on, you guys. What is going on here? Is that it?
We need a technical difficulty screen.
Quit Zoom. There it goes.
Mosquito
Why is it
Florida
not giving me the meeting? Hold on.
Okay.
Return to meeting. There it goes. Okay.
I was going to say I can see you. Oh.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and admit Keystone, but let's okay. So
yeah, now I can see it.
Yeah. Okay. Crazy. Well, this is the first time doing this, so it's going to happen.
We're learning.
There she is. Okay. Keystone, you look tired, my friend. Are you okay? There it goes. Okay.
I was going to say I can see you. Oh.
Okay. You got to mute. Okay. So
yeah, now I can see it.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi,
Keystone.
Hello.
Oh, this is the first time. You can hear us.
Yeah. Right.
So I figured I'm gonna test the call in.
You look tired, my friend.
Well, yeah, I just finished my own live stream, and I figured I'm.
I can see you.
I can hear it. It's feeding back. I don't know.
Oh, sorry, that's me.
Yeah.
My bad. Sorry. Yeah, I look tired. It's 4 a.m. in the morning here,
right?
And I thought I'm going to test the first call and to see if it works.
We appreciate that. Right? So it does work. The link works. Awesome.
It does.
So did you need the meeting password and ID to get in or no?
Yes, password I did need. Sorry, brah.
Okay, so I'll make sure and post that again in case. All right. Yeah, I know with this convention going on tonight, it's going to, but we're good to go.
Yeah, I was just at RDoc and I was watching, Ivanka coming up, and so I came here and I wanted to test if your telephone is working and the call in, and I just set up quickly my camera and my light and all that, and so yeah, that looks terrible, obviously, but you guys look great.
No,
over
you look
there.
Fantastic. I don't think you could look bad, Keystone. So
right, always so nice.
So there's that. Yeah. So
yeah, I don't have any conspiracies. Well, I have plenty maybe, but I need to think about those, and probably not as excited at most of them. But yeah, it was I figured let me just do a first call in for you guys, since I've been on the stream all evening already for 2 hours, and I figured I might as well test it with you. So here I am.
Awesome.
We definitely appreciate the call in. We definitely wanted to check that out, make sure it works.
Yeah.
Well, it works.
Do you want to hang out for a minute while she gives us this info on Gates, or did you want to just okay, cool.
Sure.
So
let me change my light. It's too white.
I see that they were saying that they heard. Did you guys could hear about the mosquitoes? I was talking about the mosquitoes and him trying to get them done, right?
The GMO mosquitoes released in Florida.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
So,
yeah, because they're doing that. Like I think this month, or this coming month, which is kind of crazy.
Oh, we have them.
The GMO mosquitoes?
No, we have the tiger mosquitoes all of a sudden in Holland.
What are those?
Who knows what those are?
Are they real mosquitoes, or are they like modified like?
Nobody knows what they are because nobody really sees them, but the media obviously is talking about tiger mosquitoes, whatever those are.
Mosquitoes are super, like they carry all kinds. I mean, aside from like stuff you hear about Zika, whatever, equine encephalitis. They transmit all kinds. I've been waiting for them to tell us.
We're living in the Netherlands. It's a Nordic country. Those animals live one day and they're dead. So
yeah, it seems
the four that they did find, they tried to scare the people off with it. But
of course.
I mean, seriously,
Right.
I mean, this is Conspiracy Couch, so I can say this here, but I posted at one point a patent that was held in the United States by the U.S. government for a machine that would disseminate, as a weapon of war, infected mosquitoes. I kid you not. It's on my Twitter feed. Yeah, I've just
that's pretty scary if you think about it.
I've just been waiting for the whole mosquito Rona issue to pop up. Like, I thought for sure we'd heard that a month ago.
We have now the second wave of Rona coming in, and so we're already restricted, and everything is going, well, this is what's happening, you know. This is where we're going to be enslaved slowly until, you know, and then at a certain point there will probably be riots, so then everybody will be distracted from...
Once they get the food supply.
Yeah, so this is what she was telling me about the food supply. So you got to hear this. This is crazy. Like her...
Well, I mean, this all factors in. Like, I don't know what kind of weather you guys have been having over there recently, but if you remember, we had those horrible fires in Australia, right? That burn out God knows how much of the country. We've got California on fire here again, massive burning. We had just out of the nowhere, this crazy storm, they call it a derecho, that came through the Midwest. I mean, decimated tons, you know, hundreds and hundreds of 8 miles probably of land, like square miles of land. It was crazy. Destroyed a lot of the crops, all the grain, our you know, corn crop and whatnot, right? Well, now we've got another superstorm coming up out of the Gulf of Mexico. Laura, it's a hurricane that came in as a Category 5, like I think 175 or 200 mile an hour winds at one point. Like, I have family down there, and things are just truly a mess. But also, that's sugar and rice country. Like, people grow. Like, I mean, that's a large part. So we've got.
I hadn't made that connection.
Yeah, that we've got crops being decimated across the country. Not to mention, because of the Rona, they've started these. Like, I know I read the other day, California has like these teams that go in and they're randomly testing these farms that have a large migrant worker population. And if any of the workers test, then they're going to shut down the whole. They're going to shut down the whole farm. We've already seen production and distribution issues with meat since this began. I mean, I had posted a thread. You know, I came across something from 2018.
I can pull it up real quick. Let me see. Check it out. So this is the Tyson joins Bill Gates Cargill thing, right?
Yeah. Well, there's like probably I kept adding things to the thread. Yeah, that's it. Yep. Yeah, from 2018. Oddly enough, one of the things that has been super generated a ton of money since this whole, you know, pandemic began was lab meat. You know, like I remember last year I was making fun of the whole Impossible Whopper idea. You know, which is kind of crazy because lab meat increases it's full of soy and lectin, which changes, you know, body chemistry in different ways or whatever. But Bill Gates made a ton of money off of lab meat. And I started...
We have the SETA going on. So we have they just do it in a different way, but same story. However, we are the biggest agriculture in the world, export, but we have everything because we had this heat wave, right? That was abnormal. And so, but we have all our food is in these houses, greenhouses.
Silos.
So, so we cannot have that destroyed, but the meat, they try, this is why we have the farmer, protest, because they want to get the meat out of Canada. And so that's going on. However, what I do think is what's going on now, the tiger mosquito, I think now they're going to create havoc here in Europe because of the elections coming on, so they can have, distractions from that. And
that chaos will definitely be playing out across the world. For sure.
Yes.
What's with the asteroids going to impact right before the election?
The day before the election?
I saw that article and I had to laugh.
Of course it's going to.
That was hilarious. Actually,
there's been an asteroid going to impact for like my whole life now. So
yeah, but they scheduled this one in, like
right
it had
before
to be
election
that day.
Yeah,
right. They called it up
anything better than Biden. I mean, it's better to have an asteroid. It's less painful.
Probably.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I agree. At least that's quick.
Quicker death.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
See, look at that.
Yeah, we're all on the same track with that one. That's good.
That's funny.
Yeah.
But okay, so you guys are seeing the same thing, agricultural and meat disruptions in supplies and stuff. Yeah.
Well, we have this weather modification at the moment. Like we had these 2 weeks that was so hot. Remember that I was like complaining about it.
Right.
But so many elderly people died, more than in the past 2 months with Corona. And so they put it obviously on the Corona list, hence why we have this second wave. And so, that keeps going on. As for the agriculture, they cannot touch that because it's in greenhouses. So that doesn't get affected by the weather, at least. Well, but now we have a storm. I mean, seriously, I've never seen anything like this.
They want us to blame, climate change, right? So that of course that's going to advance. That. Yeah, well, no doubt.
I pay 30% on top of my energy bill for the Green Deal.
See, that's what they want to do to us here. No way. No way. I'm not.
We cannot even live anymore because of this,
It's crazy.
That's crazy.
And then on top of that, COVID, what was it? COVID aid for the poorer countries like Italy and all those countries. And France and Germany get away with it, and we are the ones paying. So, and seriously, we have hospitals are closing. Elderly people don't get any care anymore. Schools don't get. Police doesn't get paid, and everything, and all the money goes to poorer. Well, Italy, all the countries.
Socialism is great. Didn't anybody tell you? That's the way.
Well, we had socialism.
I know. I was joking.
No, but we had it, but in a good way before EU. So the government paid our insurance, and everybody had free insurance. And
when it was just your country, but when you joined the EU and then you had to contribute to everybody, it became a problem.
Everything is privatized since.
And that might work with a smaller state, maybe, but I mean, not here.
It works with a smaller state. However, now we pay, obviously, everything through private, but we do not even get everything covered.
Right.
Because and we are obliged to have insurance. We are obliged.
Right. I wonder where I heard that before.
I pay 124 euros, which is pretty low. More people, but then medication, you still have to pay it yourself. You have 350 euros own risk every year. So at first that 350 euros will be spent, and then only the insurance start paying. So you pay every
month. You have a deductible.
Yeah, so you pay like crazy. I don't even want an insurance anymore because I'm probably better off without it at this point.
We're all getting scammed.
Yeah, so I mean, at that point, it sounds like you're better off not even working. Just ride the system. That's crazy.
That's what they want. Honestly,
I know. That's exactly what
they want us all dependent. And that's what I wanted to ask you. What do you think the end game is with the? Look, if Gates is into the fake meat, okay. And we know there's this weaponized weather that can target the food supply and stuff like that.
Right.
So considering all the things we know he's into, what do you think the end game is, you guys?
Submission.
Right. But
I think, I honestly think that even with the fake meat, I think that whole, what you call that, the transhumanism.
Right. For sure.
So probably the fake meat is full of who knows AI stuff, because and then there's a chipping.
I never thought of that.
Well,
right?
It
goes along with even the vaccines and the whole
we don't
the chipping and
Soylent.
I mean,
the heme.
You can't even see it, a chip. So who knows where they put it in, right?
Well, I think they've been spraying that. I'm definitely. Bill Gates said he wanted to dim the sun with Harvard to lower the, lower the temperature on Earth. They were spraying nanoparticulate matter, different types of metals down from the atmosphere, which, I think I posted about that too.
Why do you guys really think they want to dim the sun, though?
What do you mean? They don't.
No, that's the excuse.
No, right. Yeah. But I mean, what do you think the real reason is? Why?
I think they use it also to use HARP. How they,
sure.
That would do that. That's when you see those clouds that are like, bump, 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 bump.
You're right, Brooklyn.
That's right what we had before this heat wave, the ridiculous heat wave we had. You saw it exactly. And we have a HARP station as well in the middle of the country. And exactly there was the center, and you saw it spread out like literally on the radar. And so, yeah, I'm not surprised by that. But yeah, the thing is, we're going to be attacked like big time, especially after Trump is going to be,
No, you know what, though? The total end game is 2030. It's Agenda 2030. They want us in mega cities.
Okay.
Well, yeah, but we already start there in 2024 because that's when they want to have the vaccine passports, right? If you don't use the vaccine, you can't get anywhere. So under the guise of you have free will, really you don't, because then you get if you don't have the passport, you can't get in the bus, you can't get in the train, you can't get in a restaurant, you can't get anywhere. Therefore, people have to choose for it. Then 2024, also the agenda of being completely cashless in Europe, without cash, everything electronic. Now there's that. Then what else did they have? Oh, the virtual firewall that they have in China, another thing they want to push through. And they push a lot of laws through, and we never seen them because we have no say. We don't even see the laws. They've been pushed through without our consent. It's that bad. 5G has been installed while we were all in lockdown. I have it right now on my building on the end of the street. 3 of them.
Here's the thing, Keystone. As long, and I know this is, I mean, Europe, that Europe is in trouble. As long as the United States does not submit, there is hope. The minute we capitulate,
it's the truth.
That's it. That's it. That's all.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, but then it will take a long time before because what I heard already, and that was from that intel that Corey Good was sharing, that they, how we had all these American troops here, right? Mm-hmm. And so they rescued a lot of children. And, the point was that they were going to also arrest a lot of these deep state people, but something went wrong there. So just what happened with that, I don't know if you remember in Mexico with that cartel guy that got caught, and then you saw in the open how the police had to let them go. Mm-hmm. Remember that? This big drugs guy in Mexico that was, and then they started shooting up everything in innocence, and so they had to let him go because they had so much power. Well, the same.
Who is this?
Yeah, the same.
I don't.
That was like, when was that? Like 2 years ago, maybe, in Mexico, when they caught this big guy in Mexico. This was it El Chapo?
No, yeah. No. Is it? No, he's still. They had him locked up. Didn't he get out and then
Chapo.
Yeah, it was El Chapo. I've seen it because I saw the footage where they had to let him go because they were just shooting up.
His cartel was fighting the federales, shooting him down and defending his. I remember seeing that. I thought they had him up here, though. Did they release him back?
Well, yeah, the same day, actually, right in front of the cameras.
So, okay.
And so, and the same thing happened here. Now, that was not on camera, but what Corey Good said about his intel, that they did get a lot of deep staters like also Merkel, because I remember that at a certain point it was almost like a perp walk what it looked like, but now she's back in business, and so clearly they didn't have the strength, they didn't have the means yet to catch them, because that would have cost lives, and so they had to let them go. So then Trump took back a lot of these military troops again back to America. Now I don't know how many troops there are right now at this moment in Europe, because strangely enough I didn't see anything of them coming really back to the US. So, and we're talking here.
We're doing major troop drawdowns right now. We're trying to they're bringing home people from Germany.
Troops.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's a lot. And yes, from Germany, they were in Poland, and they accomplished a lot. But yeah, all the the deep staters are still on their seats, including my own prime minister, who's the biggest puppet of the EU. And, he's just being a dictator right now at this moment.
Which prime minister is that?
Rutte. He was today trending again because people are getting really furious now. He's just pushing laws. We have no vote whatsoever. We have no referendum. Yeah. It's taken away from us as well. I mean, it doesn't matter whether we say yes or no, he's pushing it through anyway. And if we're going to demonstrate, we're getting beat up by police. Military, ME, they call it, are involved. They beat us up, and this is how it goes. And so, literally, I think we are now going to be on the receiving end of a sort of what you call it. When Trump will be reelected, they don't have America anymore, so they will, throw all their wrath onto Europe. And also, remember, the headquarters of the deep state is here in Europe, I mean, I live in the lion's den of our royals, Brussels, it's all there. That's where and from there they spread all over the world. So this is where they have their headquarters, the top, halfway the top of the pyramid is all here in Europe.
Keystone,
no doubt.
Did you see I saw some footage today, you probably didn't see it, of some Australian stuff. They're having a rough go of it there, but they're getting whooped on for not having their mask on outside. Did they do that stuff to you guys there in Europe?
Not on the mask problem, but now it's people start demonstrating and protesting against these laws that are being pushed through without our consent. And literally like dictator rules. Right. And we have no choice whatsoever, and we cannot protest it because then you get beaten up. And I mean, really beaten up.
And you guys have no guns, yeah. So it's not like...
We have no guns. And then on top of that, we don't have an Antifa. What happens is that civilian police, they pretend to be rioters in order to stir
agents,
the pot.
Provocateur, yeah.
Exactly. And then what you get is they start beating up older people. So they go in a hospital and random people. But on top of that, what they try to do is provoke more people getting violent. Well, it's a lot harder to get people violent here, but
you guys are having problems with massive immigration problems, right? And then there's kind of been a division in society because of the policies.
Well, that's mainly in France, where they have now also
not just there. I mean, I saw craziness in where are you at? Yeah, Netherlands.
Netherlands.
Yeah, there's been insanity in all those places where they've had those massive influx of migrants.
Well, that's all over Europe, yes. And
that's crazy.
Whatever happened to the caravans that were on their way here? Whatever happened to the caravans that were on their way here from South America?
They went back because that was just, they couldn't even get in.
Yeah, they were, that was a
and most of them were actors.
Right.
Yes.
But here, they are real. I mean,
no doubt.
They have zones in France where you cannot enter because as soon as you go there with your bus, the buses get attacked, police get attacked. Sweden is the same. Holland is a smaller country, but it's a matter of time. And it's I'm obviously, I mean, I knew this. I was prepared for that because I knew this will happen. We do not have Trump. I keep saying that, and it's true. And so, yes, we will have.
But there have been concurrent nationalist and patriot uprisings in various countries over there that have been gaining steam.
Sure.
Yeah.
If there are no leaders.
This is true. The people are going to have to lead.
Well, they're going to have escalating, but we do not have weapons. Remember that. They have,
I can't even.
They have police, ME, and they are blasting us with water cannons. The batons, they beat us. We have nothing.
Hey, until
we
the Rona,
even defend ourselves.
The Rona, those protesters in Hong Kong were doing a good job. They don't have weapons either, and they were facing one of the most tyrannical fascist.
I thought it was interesting too that that 19 incident happened right as they were rising back up again with their little Pepe.
But don't forget how many in Hong Kong died. How many were
occasionally the tree of liberty has to be watered with the blood of patriots. That's the way it goes.
Sure, but this is where it goes, and we are talking not just a Hong Kong here. We're talking a whole continent.
We're talking the world at this point.
Yeah.
Well, we're in trouble. You guys have weapons and Trump.
Well, yeah, we do. That is true.
And so
you have to always look at it from like their perspective. Like I get it. The way that it's hard, I think, for Americans to.
But what will happen is, as long as America holds, as long as we are able to maintain control, we will continue to help fight battles in other places.
And we'll dictate. We'll dictate ultimately if we.
This is what. Go ahead.
I'm sure that Trump will send troops in as soon as everything is restored in America. Obviously, however,
this is not ending soon. I'm truly one of the people that thinks even with the election, they've been setting this up for months. Yeah, this doesn't end soon. This gets more intense for a while.
It's going to be literally fighting to the death here for us then, because having weapons, there is still only so much you can do. And you see what happened yesterday or, with the riots in Portland. But here we have the police, and then, the more people there will be, the better. And there are now military, ex-military and police calling for other countries in Germany, calling for all others to unite, because there is a police force that is actually from the EU, and they mix them up together, so they are compartmentalized, and you don't see those that are actually from the EU to control people. But they also have this technology where they can send blast you these frequencies, stuff like that. I mean, where are you gonna fight against?
It's true. Especially the Europeans, because they don't even have guns. All they got to do is blast them with these frequencies, like she's saying, and they're dead stop.
I get it.
Full stop.
Well, the easiest way. This was what I was getting to in the first place, and somebody asked me about 20 minutes before the show started.
Probably why they're going hard with the 5G.
They didn't understand the tie between the weather and food manipulation. Well, in the annals of history, one of the most effective tactics at subduing a population is to starve them out.
Yes.
Right. And not only are they're gonna ruin food supply, and not just the crazy weather. We've got literal biblical plagues of locusts that ate their way up through Africa, over into India, over into western China at the moment, and coming up through South America. I think I was telling you this the other day, all the way up into Brazil at this point. This is a problem.
A hurricane, and Holland is gone, literally.
Crazy.
Seriously.
Well, on top of limiting the food, then they're going to replace it with modified food.
Exactly.
That's going to not that they haven't already, but I mean it will be on a massive scale.
I don't know about y'all, but I won't touch that stuff, and I'm vegan. I don't.
But
don't trust the heme.
There is no way. I will not touch that stuff.
There is no seed in the world that is not patented.
Yeah.
Not one seed anymore in the world. So everything is already patented. That in itself, that is actually, if you think about it, that we have to pay for water is ridiculous. The fact that we have to pay for land is ridiculous, because who owns land in the first place?
We're not in 5D. So I'm here's what I'm hoping, to get it off, the doom and gloom note. I'm really hoping we have our quantum shift before things ever get that grim. And I honestly believe that those on the Ascension timeline are not going to experience the end all of this whole game plan. I think it's the people that are on that timeline that will. We see the signs. Yeah, it's happening. But I don't think we're going to see this is the end of the cycle. I don't think we're going to see the major I don't know, though. Maybe we'll see it, but we'll be in another... I don't understand how this whole Ascension thing's going to play out, like others.
No.
I just have little...
But I think that is going to be it, That's going to be it, because I cannot see this being resolved in a quick way. And so there must be something else coming into the picture that will
Yes.
You know, and it's logic if you think about it, right?
The awakened ones are not. We're not going to play this game anymore. Paying for water, just like you said, like the ones that are truly awake now. And I think this ties into to 17 too. Is why wake the public up? Why run an operation to wake up the public? Now, not just in America, in the world, right? Wake them up. When they wake up, they're going to be pissed off. And they're going to want to change everything, right? When they realize how manipulated they've been. Why do all that? They have to have played that out, right? So why do all that if there's not a plan to replace it 100%? And I mean free energy, remember, I mean all of it. Yeah.
Think about the collective, because, the more people are awake, the more change you make worldwide, and that's all about the collective consciousness.
Right.
That is also what this is about. So if the collective consciousness, for example, changes and it only accelerates from there, right? Mm-hmm. So that is a big deal, and so the people that are in fear are in a minority now.
Yeah.
The
people that are in fear are the ones that don't have any information. Like with information comes a sense of peace. When you understand what's happening around you, you'll only get into the fear frequency when you don't understand what's happening around you.
Yeah, and please understand, I'm not trying to push fear,
right?
But I do want you to be informed and never complacent. I think good
I agree.
The end too.
Yeah,
Alara calls it the ascension. Maybe I call it the rapture. Either way,
it doesn't matter what you call it. It's the same. We're talking about the same thing. Yeah.
But that doesn't mean complacency is the answer. You need to be informed. You need to be active. You need to prepare.
Knowledge is power.
Even if always, and even if you just are trying to level up spiritually, like there are actions that you can be taking that absolutely will help you manifest a better resolution, personally and as a whole collective. And so I'm not pushing fear. I'm putting information out there. Yes. That's all. I saw it in the chat a couple of times. That's all.
Oh, we didn't know what you were talking about, friend. We were like, why does she think?
Well, no, because you were saying about ascension. No, not you.
Oh,
my bad. It was in the chat.
Is there somebody with a good conspiracy that's going to call in?
Do we have any other takers?
Oh, so yeah, I completely agree with you, Foil, as far as that goes. Like, I think it's very important.
We got to level up.
I don't think anybody that's an anon does not believe that way, right? But I think we also have spiritual practices that we practice in order to keep ourselves kind of removed from it.
Your thoughts create your reality. Right. I get it. You want to vibe on the higher frequencies. I'm all for that. I'm all for vibing on the higher frequencies, but
you need to know what you're up against.
Right. Yeah, that's my exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's very important to know.
Yeah. And sorry, I'm a loud Italian. I wasn't like yelling at you guys.
You're Italian?
Oh yes. I saw it in the chat a couple of times. I just want to let them know, like, I'm all for the positivity. Believe me, I'm on that all the time. But I'm also all for the information. And I think whether you want to hear it or not, you need it.
Right.
For sure.
Somebody here says, Holland need their own Brexit. What do you think we're already screaming for? But yeah, when the other half is not awake yet, then we can scream all we want. That's not going to happen, is it? And by the way, EU will collapse anyway now that Brexit is going to be.
Oh, I think it's coming.
Yeah.
What do they call it in the law of one? When prayer multiplies prayer or meditation multiplies meditation. What do they call that?
Well, that's why I said the consciousness, collective consciousness. This is what multiplies
will continue to exponentially multiply. And it will spread. It will. The world.
But it's just not. I mean, with the Brexit, the rest of the EU will collapse, etc., etc., etc. It will be probably civil war around here. Well, that's fine, bring it on, because it's part of the deal, I guess. And so, I'm prepared. I mean, I expect that something like that might happen, and so, at least I'm not surprised. So that's a good thing, I guess.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, I think
preparation is all you got.
I mean, just to close the meat topic, I think it's important that people kind of know what's going on with that, though. Because the whole, when you follow the Gates thing, like it's deep what this dude's up to.
Oh, he's into education. He's into pharma.
There's an end game here. Yeah, and and
he's got a hand in like every cookie jar, man. Every cookie jar.
It made me think of a joke that I read. Like somebody said, "I'm a social vegan. I avoid meat," as in meeting.
Oh,
right.
That one totally went over my head. That one totally went over my head. A lot of jokes go over my head, actually.
Like, a social vegan.
Right. I avoid meeting. I mean, I get it. Yeah, I get it, but...
I found it really funny.
Really? Yeah.
Yes.
But I think stuff's funny that's just other people don't think is funny at all, and I'll laugh hysterically at it. So I think I just have a quirky, weird sense of humor.
So, is anybody going to call in with some good story, some juicy story?
Nobody wants to call in? I mean, we have a couple subjects that we...
Well, you did have a bad timing today, didn't you?
Oh yeah,
we didn't realize
the convention was going to be on. As soon as we got in here to start, we were like, here, wait.
But I thought
Chapman
he was
joining. All right,
who?
let me add Chapman.
Is Chapman calling?
Yeah, Chapman's in.
Okay, then I'll get out of here. I'm getting out of here.
You're getting out of here? Chapman.
Thanks for coming.
It's Brooklyn.
It's your
now you're
birthday.
Chapman? Now you're Chapman?
No, Brooklyn works.
Brooklyn is her
okay, I didn't know if I was supposed to call you Chapman or Brooklyn.
Nah,
No,
Alara,
saying it.
it's Brooklyn.
Okay.
In Europe,
Brooklyn.
It's your birthday.
Is it after midnight? After midnight.
It's 5 a.m.
Happy birthday, Brooklyn.
Thank you.
Happy
It's
birthday.
9:38 a.m. technically tomorrow morning, but hey, it's
Whoop, whoop.
all right. So something I wanted to share. First of all, I am so excited about this conspiracy couch shit. Pardon my candor. I cuss. It is what it is.
Yeah. Foil's like, I'm stoked. And Laura's like, okay.
So I want to share with you. So I'm doing it through my computer now because last time I was doing it through my phone.
Much
but
better.
now I can double down. So I want to share with you.
You sound good. You look good. And happy birthday.
Wait,
Did I say
let me get out of here so you can.
Okay,
put
let
all the
me.
attention
How
on
do
her.
I get rid of you?
I get rid of myself.
You get rid of me. Okay, get out of here,
Bye.
Keystone.
Bye, Keystone.
Bye. Thank you for calling in, Keystone.
Oh, bye.
Love
Later,
you. Get
Skater.
some sleep.
Yo, it's so late for her though, right? Let me
I
just
know.
find this though. I have a channel on here. All right, here we go. So on YouTube, here's what happened. I had a big thing happen, and then I started following Paul Butler from Prime Disclosure. I don't know if you all are tapped into him, but what he does, and he's incredible, and I've used a lot of my discernment. And you know, when you get on the ascension journey, you're like, okay, and you find all these channels, and this one's, you realize that this one's just a bunch of like
Right.
thirst buckets that are like, is my twin flame gonna come back? Like, bitch, I don't know. Don't worry about it. Like, do you? You know, like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, people get into this other shit, and they're just like, oh, I need answers. It's like, look within, samurai.
Right.
But
I'm with you.
But they hard pause on that because they're still so external, and I get that because that's a 3D iteration, right? When we're so accustomed to the projection and the way that the projection validly functions as our reality merely ascribed, we think, okay, well, the answer is out there, so we go looking for it out there. And then, you know, it's interesting how yoga came to the West, because I think what that did is it bridged the gap in a concentric circle kind of way. It created this space that allowed for people to start evaluating their own understanding of what reality merely ascribed is. Like, oh, well, I experienced this, so this is happening to me. Well, not exactly. You are projecting your reality, and then you're functioning through it, right? So then I found all these channels of people and pundits and whatever. And of course, I have really strong discernment. So I was like, well, okay, yes, I can get with that. Take what you will and leave the rest. And then at some point you're just like, meh, I gotta go. But Paul Butler is great. And what he does is he shares his own experiences. Prime Disclosure is the name of his channel. But he also shares transmissions from many other light workers and people out in the community and the collective, rather, I prefer to call it, as I think we all do, and beyond, like Laura Pleiadian, Elizabeth Peru. But I found this one channel through him, which is the Archangelic Calendar, and they have a YouTube channel. And it's this woman who has a voice that's kind of like if you've ever been on Red Pill and Sveta calls in, and she's like, and she's like going a million miles an hour Indian. This person on the Archangelic calendar, and it's literally Archangelic calendar. So if you look it up on YouTube, you'll find it. So every day, and there are these drawings with these symbols, and then she does these crystal, like these mandala grids with different crystals. And in the beginning, she's like infinity, infinity, look at that, infinity, and she's rattling off all this stuff. I have no idea what it means.
Hold on. Hold on. You said all that so fast. And my brain.
I know.
Okay, so you said the Indian woman that goes on red pill. So
Paul Butler from Prime Disclosure has a channel.
Who's the Indian woman and what does she do?
So the channel is called the Archangelic Calendar.
Okay.
If you go on YouTube and search, someone can do it right now, Archangelic Calendar. It's a channel that I follow on YouTube.
She opens with mandalas and chants.
Well, she starts off, or it's an Indian voice, and I brought up Sveta because her voice reminds me of that.
Gotcha.
Definitely Indian. I mean, I spent a summer in India.
Okay, I'm following you.
That's
all right.
Right. All right, bet. So she'll start off with these on when you're watching the video, it's a picture and it's this drawing of all these symbols, and she has crystals laid on top of it. And when she reads it off before she starts giving the transmission, it's infinity, 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 1, 1, and it's all these numbers, and it's stuff that goes way over my head. I don't know what all that means, but I found her because Paul on his channel, he'll do his own talking and whatever, but then he shares transmissions from other people.
You mean when you say transmission, you mean she's channeling?
Well, Paul Butler will share, he'll do his own, anecdotal stuff. And then he will share transmissions from other light workers and other people. But what he does is he has a website, and you can go to his website, and this is how you know it's the real deal. He gives full transcripts of the entire video. So if you want to go back and review, or you want to go to search them out directly, you can. Sure. Whether it's Daniel Scranton channeling for the Arcturian Council, or Laura Pleiadian, it's a lot of people. One of the people whom he shares info from often is this channel on YouTube that I now follow called the Archangelic Calendar.
Okay.
And that's the woman with the Indian voice that reminds me of Sveta. In terms of I know it's Indian. That's all that was the only connection there. So when I heard something a couple months ago, and I want to say that it was before the George Floyd stuff, where I was listening to Paul Butler through Prime Disclosure. And usually I save Paul, I do all of the Anon stuff, whether it's iPod, Red Pill, even Dan Bongino, I do that stuff during the day. Right. But in order to be able to really fully sort of pay attention to what Paul Butler is sharing through his videos every day, I have to be in bed at night with no other stimuli. I turn off all the lights, and then I cast it to my TV, and I listen very intently. And one night I was like, what? And he's talking about, but it was a transmission that he was reading. So I went to the website, and I found the website of that particular transmission, which happened to be Archangelic Calendar. And so I read it, and then I played it directly from them. And they were talking about the digital soldiers and how we're protected, and there's an army of digital soldiers. And I had already started to realize that a lot of the light workers I was tuning into were 17s. Gotcha. But what struck me as incredible about this is these are channeled messages from the archangel. I mean, we're talking ascended masters, Violet Flame, Gabrielle, the names of some of these angels I've never even heard before. And I'm like, what? Right. For example, in April, the Feast of St. Mark's holiday, that there were specific instructions, because that happens to be a day where the darker forces do a lot of the child, I don't even like to say the word. So there were instructions to do these visualizations to bomb the tunnels with violet flame. Okay. And so I did it. And the night that I did it, this crazy thunder started happening. So another thing she said recently, yesterday, and I put the link in the chat, Alara, yesterday, and I was like, you guys need to listen to this, because
What was she saying about what was the transmission that came in about us?
She was saying that the CCP has these malevolent forces.
No doubt.
Have cells more than we can imagine.
Absolutely.
Like forces not in this dimension?
There is that, yes, but this particular one, like the one that I put in the chat yesterday on the whatever that app is that we are all in that chat, that thing.
Okay.
In this particular one, she's talking about the CCP, and you have to listen to it, but it's when I first heard your story, like talking about being, I don't know how much you want to share in this now moment, but what you shared that you were very shy about walk-in stuff and whatever.
Yeah.
When I heard you tell your story, I was like, oh, okay, wow. So we really have people out here amongst us who are going to be open to hearing this information, right? So when I found out about Conspiracy Couch, I was like, okay, I would like to be able to share this info, and then you all can go and dig it and hear it and listen to it and form your own opinion. Isn't that how we do it? Like,
yeah, absolutely.
Do your own research.
For those of you in the chat that are really aware of what she's talking about, I was on Keystone's channel not too long ago, and I I guess Keystone was good at getting me to talk, apparently, because I went into some stuff I've never gone into before. One of the things is the fact that that I'm a walk-in. So yeah, it's a very complex topic, and I think it's kind of misunderstood. I think people don't really understand what that is. And I don't really understand what it is. It's my own life and my own experience.
You're the only person I've ever heard talk about it other than Cosmic Empress, which is another channel I follow. I had only heard one description ever in the last year of what that even meant until you shared that. And that's why I was being a bit funny just now. I was like, because I didn't want to. I mean, I know you shared it on her channel.
I mean, if I talked about it once, like, it's out now, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's fine. It's just, I know it's a dynamic that, that a lot of people don't understand, including myself, I'm still trying to figure out. But yeah, so I think where you're going, and I think what's interesting about what you said is I think there's a lot of people like me, and I think they're here to change things.
Yeah, and so
we've got a question from the chat for you ladies, if you don't mind. They're asking, what is a walk-in? Do one of you guys want to grab that?
That would be Alara.
So a walk-in is you're going to get different definitions of it depending on who you talk to, but it's essentially what happens is we're all born with a soul, okay? And a consciousness, a soul. I don't know, really, can you separate the two? I don't know. So anyways, so what can happen at a point in a person's physical experience in a lifetime is the consciousness, soul, whatever you want to call it, that's in that physical body can decide I've had enough. And so when we're asleep every night, we think we're having dreams. And we don't understand what they are. We think that there are these random crazy things going on in our head when it's asleep, but we're really in another dimension, and we're talking and interacting and doing things just like we do right now. It's misunderstood because we don't have an understanding, and we're not taught about what the astral plane really is, and that we even have a consciousness that leaves our body every night when we go to sleep, that we are not, you really literally are not your physical body. Like, you're not. This is just like a vessel you use in this dimension to have an experience. So anyway, so your consciousness leaves at night when you sleep. So what can happen is your consciousness can decide, now how this gets arranged in another dimension, I don't know. The full translation doesn't come through, even to people that are kind of tapped into it. But essentially your consciousness can decide, I'm out. I don't want to inhabit this physical body anymore. I'm done. But instead of your physical body dying, another fragment of your soul maybe, or maybe a different entity entirely, I don't know what all is possible, can then make an agreement in another dimension, and they come in and take over. So
the soul would abdicate and allow something else to come in. Does that body then retain the memories and the understanding?
Yeah, the body has cellular memories. So in other words, like what happened with me is I had confusion. To this day, I have confusion. I have memory problems. things, really simple things like my own name, my birth name that I was born with, it just doesn't resonate.
It feels weird, right?
It feels really weird. Yeah, when people call me that, I'm like, what? Yeah, so stuff like that. You can have like I have memories, but I'm detached from them. Like it's like it was another lifetime. And this is my way of explaining it. Everybody's gonna have a different way that this has happened to, but it's like it was in a different lifetime. Like, and a lot of it really I just don't remember. Like I would say a good, I don't know, 70% of her experiences I can't pull up. People ask me that all the time. They'll be like, do you remember when we were 9 and da-da-da-da-da? And I'm like, no. And
I have a question for you guys then that you may be able to answer.
Yeah.
Kind of two of them. So can there be like a forced abdication, or even like or does it have to be permanent? Can it be a temporary thing?
Probably.
And then is that what I would call, like if say there was a forced abdication and a temporary inhabitation, is that what I would call possession? Is that people have?
Can I say something about that?
Yeah,
possibly.
Please do.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I mean, my thoughts on that, rather. From where I stand and from what I am learning and have learned is that a walk-in situation is actually a benevolent thing. Or in this case, certainly seems to be, Keck, with you. But I think the difference would be the difference in my, again, but like what Alara was saying before, it's like so hard to articulate. Mm-hmm. I think that it boils down to agency.
Okay.
Right.
And intention and discovery. And the discovery is a double entendre. Discovery meaning learning new things, but discovery also meaning, like in a legal sense, like as you move through something, you try to figure out information as part of the discovery, which becomes part of the narrative, which allows you to create a greater understanding as related to where the narrative started. So the discovery in this case, for me, how I am intending it to mean in this now moment, would be what you learn along the way through that process of inquiry, but never giving up your agency or your free will, because there is one, how do we say, opinion rather, I guess maybe, where we say, okay, well, this whole thing, we're here and this is an experiment and these are contracts that we have, that we are working out, and that we came here to work to fulfill these contracts as part of this like New Earth experiment, but we're just trying to all get home to our star families, right? I think that's why so many people, and the thing that really got me thinking about this, which was why as I got deeper into the 17 community, QAnon community, if you will, but I started with the light worker stuff, and then I had been following Q, but I wasn't really in the movement like I am now.
You were a lurker, huh?
Well, I was a light lurker. I was a light lurker. I was a light worker lurker.
Yeah. A light worker lurker?
Yeah, I was a light lurker.
I think it's
having my own discovery, and then what I started to notice is that through my own use of discernment, I have fairly good discernment. I started to notice that a lot of the light workers that I was really drawn to and following were dropping dimes, and the language of a lot of the things that I was hearing from the QAnon community. And these are people that are like hardcore Christians. You never hear them. They were like, yoga's bad, you can go to hell, rah, you know.
Yeah.
I started hearing there were these congruencies of the blah, blah, the language. And then I'm hearing like Paul Butler talking about 17 when he was giving his own transmission one night several months ago. He was like, 17, the 17th letter of the alphabet is Q. Quell, when translated out of German, is source, the lost book of the Bible, which is why when you started talking about in Keystone's thing, when you were with her that night, you started talking about how you picked up the Bible. That's why I asked in the chat, Old Testament or New Testament, because I was curious, because I had I had heard not so long ago about this quell, which is German for source. Now, if we look at, so Q17, Q, quell, source, and then we look at God, or what we call light, and we're all trying to get back to the source, from dark to light. You know, everyone's like, okay, where we go, one we go all. And then it's like, could that mean America? Because whatever America does, the rest of the world follows. Yes, and that's certainly one interpretation.
We're the ones with the guns, just like Keystone said.
Right, yeah.
We're the biggest standing army.
But then also, where we go one, because we are all one. And not for nothing, Melania Trump last night in her speech said those exact words.
She said, where we go one, we go all?
She said, because we are all one.
We are all one.
And I have been, but I have been tweeting and Instagramming and Facebooking. The minute I started using that hashtag, the WWG1WGA, I almost always followed it with a, because we are all one. Mm-hmm. And
Brooklyn,
that was coming from the other part of my indoctrination.
I could see it after I woke up. I could physically see it. Like I went from being asleep to singing to birds. And I mean, I'm not joking you. I walked around with rave music on and headphones, and literally walked around in nature and stared at the clouds. I was like that for months. Like months. And I'm really, sometimes I get sad that I'm not on that level, because I do whatever's happened, it's pulled me down off that level.
Me too. I like what you said, how you were like, I don't follow politics because it pulls me out of my vibration. And actually, it's funny that you say that, because ever since you did say that, I have been really meditating and thinking about that a lot for myself, because I've gotten way more aggressively political, but I feel like that's where I am. Want to see a cool Lapis Merkaba? Hi, say hello.
That's cool.
I feel like my voice can be useful there, but I also need to be mindful that I don't sever the connection with too much low density or low vibration engagement. So I respected that when you said that, and that definitely resonated for sure. Yeah. For sure. So, but I really,
back to the all is one topic. I really just, and there's no way to relay this to other people. Like I saw
it's frequency.
It's a frequency you hit where you can see it. Everything's not separated, like the bush and the dog. That's why I eat the way that I do. I look at everything around me as having its experience, and I look at it with compassion, and I just don't want to be a part of. And everybody live the way they want. Like I'm all about people being sovereign and doing them. I'm not trying to judge people at all, but for me, without reaching that level or whatever, I could no longer look at anything as I no longer wanted anything to hurt. It was not separate from thank you. It was me. So me killing something, and even though I would do it if I needed to survive for energy, I didn't want to do that. It hurt me so bad. It was like killing me.
And it becomes like a very refined. It gets to the point, I think, when you start to really ascend and move. Like it is true. Once you are at that point where it's like 1 foot in 5D, you start to for me, become more sensitive to those iterations, because you realize that it's like an exchange, but at the same time, the contribution level aspect, like my mind, like my mind stream, garbage in, garbage out, right? So if I'm taking in this,
always
correct,
then I have 100%. To be mindful of what I take in. And I really had to square up with myself. And I'm going to tell you, girl, like I am not fucking with you right now, and I'm not blowing sunshine up your ass, and I'm definitely not lying, because I have vows against that. I've been Tibetan Buddhist for over 20 years, Vajrayana lineage. So like when I was going to say when I lie, I get sick, but I don't lie because I don't want to get sick. But it gets very granular is my point. And when I heard you say that night, you were like, yeah, I don't really go, I'm not on Twitter. And I was like, yeah, but you are on Twitter. She's got a handle. But then I was like, oh no, she's not like on Twitter. That's very prudent because Twitter is.
No, I go through my periods.
Dumpster fire.
I go through my
dumpster fire.
See, here's the conundrum I'm in.
Because I get gangster. I'm a bitch. Like, I will get on there and I'll just be like, like popping AKs, like gat blasting with my fingertips.
But you have to.
And then
Brooklyn, can I give you a way to look at Twitter?
Like shit.
Let me give you a way to look at Twitter that's different, okay? If you use it as a platform to disseminate information, you know, and you want to be a digital soldier, you can do that. But you can also, look, when you show someone a really beautiful picture, you know that effect it has on them? So you can use your platform to not only disseminate the truth, right, and information, but you can use it to just project high frequency energy at other people and affect their field. And then it affects other people. It has a ripple effect.
This is true.
You don't have to just use Twitter.
Everybody's favorite asshole lately, which is why when you said what you said on Keystone's thing, it made me reevaluate. And that's why I actually tweeted out yesterday to all of my 17s, I apologize. It's not that I blah, 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 blah. It's just that I'm so good at it because I'm really good at snark. I'm really good at it.
Yeah,
I'm good at it.
I'm with you.
But just because you're good at it, it doesn't mean it's good. You know what I mean?
I get it. Like it's
you don't have to integrate.
It's a learning curve.
You don't have to integrate with Twitter. You can present information and then walk away. Like I know Alara and I have a lot of very, very similar parts of our story. And I know that when I had my awakening, so to speak, my come to the light moment, I changed the platform I was using. I literally moved. I changed my phone number. I changed everybody I spoke to. I changed what I watched. I changed what I listened to. Like I had to change from the ground up. I had to cut out the things that were bringing, like you said, garbage in, garbage out. You are what you consume in every way. Media, you know,
all
type print, the people around you, the energies that they bring. Like you have to really govern what you allow in your sphere. And you can interact with other spheres without integrating with that sphere.
Without integrating that energy.
My ego gets in the way when I get angry because I have my own
understand.
That I'm working through because I'm so pissed off at the deep
Brooklyn,
state. Listen, my story.
I do the same thing.
So I
literally
go
do the
on
same
a full
thing.
while out sometimes where I'm just like, fuck you, pay me. You know, I'm just like,
right.
You know, like just like not to be like, I'm not blah, blah, blah. But anyway, so, but I do really, I will send you the link, Alara, and our other, I'll send you both because you're in there too, right? You're both in there, though.
Yeah.
I'll send the link. I sent it the other day, but I'll send a link to the actual channel, not just one vid in the channel. And check them out because
I think I actually put the channel link in the chat too for those of you that want to find it.
That's what it was. Yeah, the Archangelic calendar.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's like
we are protected though, like you said, we are protected. Like you know, you can have this discussion with people about the Q operation, it's military intelligence. Okay, yeah, all right, but this is multidimensional in nature. Are there perhaps forces they're aware of or not aware of?
Well, I have a question.
Yeah.
For Brooklyn, if you don't mind. You said about meditating to send the purple light into the tunnels. Are these the kinds of I know you said they were kind of giving directives. Is that the sort of thing?
There was a directive from the archangels that's communicated through these transmissions from Archangelic Calendar, and I can actually probably find that link because it was in April, I believe.
Well, we know mass meditation affects.
This was very specific. What they do is they give specific, and they call them weapons, and the weapons
like a directed energy weapon.
Well, yeah, depending on which archangel is involved, like the weapons, and then there's active, passive, and neutral, and all these different ways in which to incorporate that if you so choose, right? Because it boils down to agency. But this particular weekend was April 22nd through the 26th, if memory serves, and I will stand corrected. I'm just pulling it off of the rip, but it was to focus on flooding the tunnels. Just imagine with violet flame.
I'm down with that.
But because this is this particular holiday, and I did a lot of research on it. But the backside, okay, so like the dark side of this moon, okay, all moon goo talk aside,
Moon goo.
right? Because you have to also realize there's like an as above, so below aspect to all of this. And so what they were saying is that while this is a celebrated, Saint Mark is celebrated, there are malevolent beings. And this is when they do the ritual with the children.
Well, let me give you another example.
And this weekend. And so I played house music because I used to run the door of one of the largest house music clubs in Florida. We were like the first people to bring Sasha and Digweed into Florida. My friend's married to Sasha, like blah, blah, blah. So I started listening to really deep, and I know what makes my soul move and where I get my energy when it comes to 4 to the floor. Like I know, like beats, I got this. So I was going through, and it actually happened at Be Defected Records YouTube channel. And I was finding like Sony Federa and all this stuff and music that resonated with me. And I had my headphones in and I smoked a little weed, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But like, no shit, for 4 hours, for maybe 5, all I did was listen to music and move around my house doing stuff and visualize violet flame going through tunnels. At the end, like, 2 a.m.
while listening to rave music.
Well, I would imagine a trance state would probably help with the activation.
Thunder was rocking my house, and then I went on Facebook. There was a thunder, and everyone on Facebook, local here in town, were saying the same thing. They were like, there was a thunder unlike anything we'd ever heard. People from all over different parts of town were reporting on Facebook that their houses were rattling. And I was just like, I don't know if I have anything to do with that, but I can tell you right now, I blasted so much violet flame out into that shit that I wasn't sure there was any violet flame left when I was done. Because that's one thing for me, like this whole, I was almost kidnapped when I was 9 in Florida. So in the early 80s. So woosah. This is so, but this is the type of stuff that these beings are sharing on this channel through these transmissions, and it's incredible information. And what's interesting about it is one could say, yo, you sound like you're crazier than a dog's been hit by a car. And I would be like, okay, I'll see you think I'm crazy, and raise you one, guess what, we're saving the world, so fuck out of here, you know what I mean?
It's true, like it's straight up maverick personalities. I call Trump a maverick, and
he's such a maverick.
All these that's why I look at all these entities, I'll call them entities, digital soldiers, all the entities doing different things to help save the planet right now. Like I look at them with such love, even if they're totally different than me, and they have things
we're all very different,
annoy me, right? It's because I look at them all as these beautiful, unique flowers that are here on the same mission as me, and I have this deep respect and love and really kind of tolerance for their idiosyncrasies, because I understand that it takes a bunch of mavericks to change, what has always been the status quo.
I mean, even my own Lama, I've been studying with Geshe Michael Roach since 1999, and people are like, oh, he's in a cult, death in the desert. Like, no, the Tibetans just got mad at him because he took a spiritual partner, and my friend Ian died meditating in a cave in Arizona, and so I had to battle that whole thing. So the one thing my teacher always said, Geshe, and he's still my Lama, he's always said, like, never get comfortable, because when you get comfortable, you get complacent. And when you get complacent, that's when you get comfortable and complacent, the demons have you where they want you. When you stop questioning your reality, when you stop questioning, or when you actually accept, basically when you take the knee,
right?
When you take the knee, and
that'll never be me taking the knee. I had to make the round.
I am not in the business of being on my knees, call a bitch. Like, it just doesn't work.
Never me taking a knee.
Never me taking a knee. Oh my God.
Never me taking a knee.
Cue the Teespring.
Right?
No need for me.
Get the meme generator.
Right.
Well, someone else probably wants to call in, yeah? So
yeah. Is there anybody out here who wants to call in? Have you guys figured it out? I put the ID in the thing in the chat.
I have 2 call-ins in one night, and now the whole world sees my face.
Right?
Oh, well. Yeah.
Well, thank you for calling into us, Miss Brooklyn. That was great.
Elizabeth is trying to log in right now.
Yes. All right, I'm out.
All right.
I'm going back to the chat, baby.
Okay.
Chat it up.
All right. Bye. Thank you for calling in, Brooklyn. Bye.
Thank you.
It was cool talking to you. Yeah.
Love ya.
All right. So what happened to my moderators? It's like I don't have any.
I noticed that about 20 minutes ago.
So I'm gonna give
Mods are out.
I'm gonna give you a wrench since you don't have one, and gotcha. I guess Path, you're getting a wrench. You have now been hired as a moderator. Yeah. So yeah. What a night we picked to start this. Did you? Oh, she's still trying to. So you click on.
Yeah, it says she's trying.
You click on the bottom link to get in. I don't know if it asks you for the meeting ID and passcode or not, but if it does, it's right there. And Mr. Fox says he's still here. So Ranger asked us a couple minutes ago about the children in the tunnels. Let me see. What did he ask? He said, have you girls touched on the children rescued recently, the operations ongoing, the number of children rescued since Trump was elected, and his EO?
I know that the number of takedowns he's made since he's been elected has been an historic number. I don't know about...
There was some stuff in Georgia. It was just hit the news.
I mean, I've seen multiple roundups, but I don't know. And executive order, which one was that?
There was one that came out when he first got into office about
human trafficking. 2017? Yeah, I think so. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's definitely been a force to be reckoned with as far as that's concerned. My favorite was when
at it with that.
Yeah, they asked him, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Is that supposed to be a bad thing?"
Right. Like, they straight hit him with the the satanic pedophile question, and he was like,
he was like, if I can help, right? Somebody's got to save the world.
Yeah.
Right.
I was cracking
that
up
goes
the other
to my
day.
Trump is Batman theory, right? Like rich billionaire
Somebody
trying to save the world.
that. You know that meme of Trump walking in, he's Batman? Somebody put that on Facebook, and I saw that Facebook fact checked it. How do you fact check a meme with no words?
They fact checked. Remember when Trump was given a medal, and they said Trump gave a medal to that dog, the dog from the what terrorist did he go get? They gave he said the dog was a hero. They put the meme up with the dog that had the medal.
I can't remember the
They were
name.
fact checking pictures of dogs with medals from Trump. Like, I mean, point is, right? Who does that? Like, and I hate to say, I work. You know this. I work as a fact checker. I fight the good fight, but come on now. Like, do we really need to be wasting resources on this? Like, clearly this did not happen.
So
I don't know.
I don't know why anybody would be having trouble logging in. Can you?
Oh, I fact check memes all the time. Ari. What do you mean? Can I log in where?
No, I'm saying they're having trouble getting into the chat, or somebody, or.
Aww.
But it's you click on that bottom link and you should be able to get in. And then if it does ask you for the meeting passcode and ID, that's in this link as well. So I hope maybe you guys in the chat can help her figure that out. So Hurricane Laura Lee says, report today on Ben Swan. FB fact checkers bought and paid for by the Gates. Which Gates are we talking about? The Gates?
Yeah, probably the Gates.
The dun Gates. That Gates.
Whack checkers.
Dude, that guy.
We're not all bad.
So should we go into some of this other, like, we kind of,
what went left?
Yeah, well, we knew that was going to happen.
That's the goal of this, right?
Yeah,
that's
totally
cool. The goal here.
Yeah, that's totally cool.
This is the whatever place.
That's right. That's what conspiracy.
I mean, I don't know. My whole point was that Bill Gates is something else, man. He's got his hand in all the cookie jars. It's all bad with that guy.
Right.
But we got to fight the good fight. That's all. Be aware.
I can't wait till people show up at his doorstep with pitchforks.
Did you see when? No.
You better, listen, Trump. You better arrest this, or we're gonna get him.
People on the floor of the Italian Parliament advocated for his arrest. Do you remember that? That was not long ago. Lawmakers in Italy were, arrest Gates.
Yeah.
And even the people in Africa, they said that he tried to bribe. Listen, he wanted to bribe the leaders of a country with $10 million to do vaccine trials on their people. They came public with it. You think the people, that's something right there, right? The people of an entire nation are only worth $10 million. That's nothing to you, bruh. That's ridiculous. What's that, 20 cents a person?
Right.
That's crazy. It's got to be worth more than that. But they told on him. I think I posted the articles on my Twitter feed.
I wish you could drop what you told me about, or say. No, I don't know. If
I was thinking.
Yeah.
What? That's
you know.
When we were talking, I thought this is the perfect time
for you to drop this.
Yeah, I was going to.
I mean, you can. You don't gotta save it for Sunday, but I mean, it's deep. Like, I think it's deep. I think you should just go ahead and tell them, like, this is a big deal. Like, and yeah, I mean, it will make sense.
It does. It does actually make sense in the context of the conversation
we look at the creator in a very different way, me and Foyle.
Very, very different. But,
very, very different.
But there are so many
things. There's things that we agree on, though.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
That are not disputable at this point, and that's the common thing that we have, no matter what religion you are or what your version of our creator is. This is something that we can all agree on. So I'll
and
shut
understand.
Up now so
we talk a little bit. Like we don't disagree really on things. We have discussions, and we walk away both the more enlightened for it.
That's right.
And I used to be. I was all about the energies and the law of one, whatever. I mean, I had my own experience, which kind of guided me in a different way, but I don't discount. I don't do that thing where I just discount what other people think. But regardless, there are a lot of congruencies when we start talking about energy and frequency and the development of things in our creator, right? So, like our favorite Anon says, I had some information I was going to save until Sunday, but I guess I'll share it here with you now. Maybe I'll bring it up again on Sunday, but this is kind of biblical. Right, literally. So I'm going to say something probably a lot of people have heard before. I don't know if you guys do much reading, but so in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was from God, and the Word was God, right? A sound, a word, logos. We've heard that. It's a universal sound from which we're all derived, and it's a vibration. So we had the sound, it was the word, and then God said, let there be light, and then there was light, right? So the light came from the sound. I mean, is that even possible? Can we create sound? Can sound create light? Absolutely. So we have a process called sonoluminescence, right, by which sound literally creates light. And I'll give an example. There are small crustaceans that live in the dark depth of the sea, and when they snap their claws, right, they snap their claws so fast that it creates like a tiny sonic shockwave in a very low pressure area, right? And the bubbles that are created in this process, when they collapse in on themselves, they snap, and then there's a flash of light. So we can replicate this in a lab as well, light from sound. Well, recently, scientists at the Large Hadron Collider in CERN did something else unfathomable. They created matter from light, which I thought was huge.
Let that sink in. They created matter from light.
From light. Indeed, they did. Now, aside from the fact that I personally think that it's a terrible idea for us to be messing around with those forces, it's pretty awe-inspiring. And so by slamming together two high-energy photons, they were actually able to produce more photons. But they even took that a step further, right? They were able to create what they called W bosons. They created two W bosons from the photons. And that might not sound like much, but follow me here, okay? This proves two things. You can create matter from light. And at a high enough energy, electromagnetic forces, which are... and the weak forces, which govern the nuclear decay rate, they're essentially the same thing, right? And that actually means a lot. Because let me ask you this. How long do you think it would take for particles of light created by the logos, right, to begin to create matter as we know it? 1,000 years, a million years, a few billion years, right? And here's something else. I'm just asking, but here's something else. If all we know was created from sound, from the probable collapse of a bubble, right? Would we call that the Big Bang? Would we call that the Big Bounce? Is this a process on never-ending repeat? I mean, did the bubbles pop in and out of existence? How many are there? Are we now talking about an electric universe with bubble pocket universes? I mean, it truly seems plausible to me. right? We're talking about quantum electromechanics. And I know that's like heavy stuff or whatever, but this verifies a lot for me personally, right? One, that there is nothing that exists that didn't come from the word, that primordial sound.
Right.
For those of you that look at it that way, right?
I mean,
also,
this ties into the pink pig, man, and the stuff he said. Look,
this ties exactly into the pink pig. If he's out there, he might be lurking.
If you're out there, pink pig, you know, this is right.
I mean, this is heady stuff.
You know.
But everything came from that primordial sound.
Yeah.
And then from that sound came the light. And as it says, you know, in the Bible, when the light shined in the darkness comprehended it not. And there was born division from that.
Right.
And that was my, I was going to save the news about creating matter from light for Sunday, but I thought it was apropos here considering the conversation we were just having with Brooklyn.
So the friend we were just talking about, like, discovered the VOG tech, and I wrote a thread about it. It's on Twitter. It's actually there'll be 3 threads when I'm done, but I haven't been able to do it yet. But if you follow me on Twitter, I think I have it pinned right now, actually. But the important part of what we're talking about is pinned in that thread, and anyway, it's really deep. That's how they got that technology and were able to manipulate it and do what they do. Is originally it was a discovery made in space of go ahead.
And something else we've had, like, I mean, we've had this continual argument between where, I mean, for hundreds of years now, science and religion have been at odds, right? You've got
but this is the kind of stuff that ties them together.
Yes.
Right.
We had the church arguing, you know, that science was the work of the devil. We had the scientists arguing that God wasn't necessary. Well, to me, this just proves, you know, science doesn't discount God. Science kind of proves that energy, as far as I'm concerned.
Right. Yeah, they just hide the really good stuff from us. You know what I mean? Essentially, and it's, you know, it's really deep. It's a deep topic, and just you know, I had my whole life, when I was asleep, I had been convinced, you know, I started out as a physics major in college, and obviously I love science. I ended up doing other things, but I was convinced, like everybody else, that I wanted proof for everything, and science kind of was my religion, and I didn't, I wasn't even trying to hear it about God, about, you know, and I really can't even say anybody told me, no, there's a creator. Like, I just saw it.
Listen,
myself.
You know, we've had experiences, to an extent, but yeah.
And now I'm finding the alternative science. Well, I say alternative because it's not in the mainstream and it's not taught to us in school yet. And then I ended up finding the science to back up the thing that I already knew, which was that this is a design, you know, and we could go any number of directions on the design itself. And I mean, it ties in, like, to me, this is a holodeck. This is a photonic illusion. And it's this physical reality is just this is a holodeck. I don't know how else to
Tesla
explain
said, if you want to think about the universe, you've got to think in terms of frequency and vibration.
And that's why we can shift
light
just like that.
And sound is both. Yes, once we
just like
learn how to think about it right.
Once we understand the concept of shifting and a quantum leap, I think that our mass consciousness could just like that. We could just be. It's I don't know, like, it's possible. I've had things happen that have taught me that it is possible. This is not what we think it is. We think all these things around us are stable and they're solid, but they're there's totally
more
not.
Space.
They're not.
Yeah, there's more space in an object than there is matter, for sure, in everything. That's absolutely true. How do we get out?
How do we get out? Chase. We have to wake everybody up. I mean,
enough. We have to wake enough people up.
We have to wake up the ones that are, I guess, destined to wake up. I don't have all the answers, but kind of, you know, like we have to wake up and we have to evolve. Like, not just to wake up. Like, we have to. After you wake up, there's a process. I'm sure everybody in the chat can agree. There's like a process you go through, like, where at first I got really afraid. Like, I was super afraid. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, there's really ETs and there's negative ones and they work with our, you know, our Black Ops, dude. Like, I got really tripped out. Like, I was tripping on everything. But you work through it, like, as you keep progressing and evolving, and as you get more information, and as you keep seeking to really understand the world around you, you just keep evolving and changing. I think all of humanity has to go through that, and then at a certain point, that'll be a wrap, and we'll be, in a new world. But in the meantime, the fight continues.
It is a fight.
Yeah. So I don't know why. Nobody's calling in.
It's not letting. Well,
I mean, how is it not letting when two people already did it? It's the same link.
I don't know. I got booted one time. I don't know if you really. I got off of the channel. I don't know. Maybe there's something going on with that. Maybe it's not Zoom, or maybe it's OBS, or maybe it only gives you a certain amount of time. Well, I have no idea.
I can never say his name right, so I don't say it right. But where we go, when we go all, he said he'll call in a minute, and if he tells me, I don't know why it wouldn't be working. I don't get it. Like, you should be able to click on that link and get in. So, yeah, so this is, I don't know, this topic is super deep. We were going to go into Darpa, and we've both done a lot of digging on Darpa, and
the mad scientists of the Pentagon.
You guys, if you're on Twitter, follow Loyal to the Foil. She does amazing threads on all kinds of stuff, dude. If you just type in any subject and then put @Loyal to the Foil, you're gonna find
something
threads.
comes up.
Right, you're gonna find threads, and you're just gonna be
Something.
like, what? Yeah. So I mean, she writes incredible threads. That's how I first found you, man.
I would give you a shout out, but it's your channel, and these people probably already follow you.
Not necessarily. Some of them, come from. Some of them are people that follow you.
At Alara of Sirius, we have fabulous discussions all the time.
Right.
Definitely a good follow. First cheesy, right?
Yeah, the first crazy thing I hear about, I'm like, Foil. Same thing with me. It's like we could talk to each other about like whatever, like.
And walk away okay, even if we don't necessarily.
Yeah, like we
agree.
totally see religion differently. Like, I'm all hardcore Law of One, she's hardcore Bible, and we're.
But it wasn't always so. She's read
the Law of One. She just doesn't.
Everything. But I understand. I actually had, I just had a different.
You know why that is? That we don't get attached, because I understand that I don't know everything, and that just because I've read this book or that book or this book doesn't mean I have all the answers, and that you very well could be completely right and I could be completely wrong, or it could be somewhere in the middle or whatever. And I'm open to that idea, so therefore I don't reject any information, even if it's not the way that I currently view that topic.
I find it interesting that even among things that seem totally separate, if you look, there are very many congruencies. Very many congruencies.
I absolutely
We have more similarities between groups of people than differences. Although right now the differences are the ones being exploited to get us on this negative path, to what I may consider separation from God, and you may consider separation from the whole. Either way, it's a separation.
Yeah. I'm letting him in.
Wait, who?
Right.
Somebody's physically coming in, or we're letting somebody into the chat?
No, they're busting through the door right now.
Right. I'm like, are they coming? Get down.
So, this is. Well, I can never say your name, Brad. Please help me.
It's Calogero.
Calogero. I should know, because that one movie's like my favorite movie. What's the movie? The Italian movie with the kid? What is it?
With a Bronx Tale, yeah.
Yeah, Bronx Tale's like one of my favorite movies. Calogero.
Oh, it's the best.
I have to say it again. How do you say it?
Calogero.
Yeah. So Calogero has a channel, Where We Go When We Go All, and he's got amazing content. He's quite a gift to the movement, and so yeah. Glad you called in. So
I was actually really enjoying that, because I kind of feel like I always loved science too. Obviously, not a physics major like you were, but so I probably don't know nearly as much. But I always feel like it's like, if you're religious, they say, oh, well, you can't like science, and if you like science, oh, well, that's an affront to religion. And it's like, well, I think you nailed it, Loyal. Like, it kind of proves religion.
Yeah,
Like, if
to
anything,
me, absolutely.
all this stuff, it's proven what these stuff that's happened in the Bible, and
even
now people
the
like
order, even the order in which the things happened is what's baffling to me. You know.
Oh, totally.
Yeah. Good call on that. I'm with that.
Yeah.
But I always I just I feel like it's weird. I feel like there's definitely, I mean, that's got to be on purpose, right? Like, people just trying to like keep people separated. Like, why can't you like both? I don't understand how one cancels out the other.
Well, the separation, I think, is what allows for the mental manipulation that goes on. The minute we realize that the separatism and the division is a false narrative, that it's a false dichotomy, we realize, like I just said, we have more similarities than differences, and then the illusion of control is lost, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. And Alara, what were you saying about energy? Because I kind of like that, some of those ideas too. Like,
which part about energy?
I don't know. It seemed like you were alluding to, I don't know, maybe the energy aspect. Like, you know, it's just not really called energy, you know, in the Christian world. But I don't know. I feel like a lot of these concepts and things across the world are all talking about the same thing.
Yes, they have to
be.
They are.
You know, it's like everyone's like fighting, like, no, my religion, no, my religion. It's like, well, it could possibly just be different interpretations worldwide, you know?
Right. We're all like talking about the same God, and we just, people in their different cultures. Look, it's like, I like how the Law of One explains it. People and their distortions and their lenses, okay, based on our life's experiences and whatever that's made us and shaped us into who we are right now. That's how you view the world, and that's how you're going to translate information. Okay. So you grow up in a different part of the world with totally different influences, different understandings of things, and different languages, this, that, and the other. It's going to change your perception and then how you relay that perception to other people. So naturally, there's going to be different books to explain the same sort of concepts. And then, then you take in the cabal infiltration and manipulation of said books, and now you've got a real recipe for misunderstanding and separation.
Yeah, I like that a lot. That's the Law of One, you said?
Yeah, what she's talking about. Yeah, I mean, the only place that I have any divergence with that is that I was completely with that. I diverge a bit. Like I said, I am recent Christian, basically. So I definitely think Jesus is the man, but that's me, and I definitely don't judge other people for their beliefs either. That's not my place. And I'm pretty sure he was specific about that too.
She's one of the rare people too that went from studying.
He said that. Not my job.
I never meet people like her that went from reading the law, that have studied the Law of One and all these sort of books, but then went back to everything's biblical.
Mm-hmm. But I had my reasons.
Right.
It was just part of my awakening process. But I still am here fighting the good fight with you guys.
Right.
Well, Jesus is my man. I'm certainly not trying to say, I'm just saying maybe some of the other ones are a little misunderstood, but no, definitely. Doubt. I'm a Catholic for my whole life.
I was raised Catholic. Yeah, I'm Italian. I said that earlier.
Okay. Yeah. Well, there you go.
It's very hard to break with tradition, especially with my family. But
same.
But I mean, I don't do that. I'm not going to judge you. That's not my job. And like I said, Jesus was very specific about that. Not my place. I understand it all, and it does make a lot of sense. And a lot of these things are the same message being interpreted differently or being used to fabricate a false dichotomy or a false separation. Like I said, if 15 cultures believe that there was a creation story that started with, sound and light, then matter, then this, then that, and then we even have science that's going to co-sign that, it doesn't matter. But
you think about it, you can't even speak like that to primitive people.
No, you cannot.
They're not going to understand. You have to just give them a parable or a story. I mean, think about it logically.
Well, Jesus taught in parables and in stories for that reason.
Exactly.
There were some things he was very specific about. Love everybody. Don't be judgmental. Don't go around killing people. Don't steal stuff. Like these sorts of things. You know what I mean? But also that it was not our place, not our place to determine who goes where when they die. That's for certain. That's his job.
I know that when you say his name and there's negative entities around, they bounce.
Oh, we've had this talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
really?
For certain. Yeah. Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Power in the name of Jesus. I will say
there's definitely something to it. It's funny, like I've seen a ghost when I was a kid. One single time with my friend, we were on a camping trip at a haunted house, no less, and we saw a see-through person in the upper left window, and he freaked out and I freaked out, and that was that. So I've been, I've believed in something. I don't know if it's definitely a spirit or if it's just an energy, or I don't know what it is, but man, there's something to this world. There's some, and especially with all the different things, like you were just saying, like, isn't that what, like, that's what Von Donigan used to say? Like, all these people have the same story of, like, lighted crafts coming down.
Yes.
There's UFOs in the Bible, man.
Yes.
I mean,
like, literally.
Right, exactly. Like the Book of Enoch. Don't they take him up there?
Ezekiel. I think Ezekiel's the one that talks about the wheel and how it, the fire in the sky and all of this. Enoch talked about the Nephilim. Enoch focused on
that's right.
Yeah,
The
they were giants.
I've been listening to that book every night when I go to sleep.
Yeah,
over
it's
the last
lit, right?
Weeks. Oh, Enoch's lit, and all the angels and the whole. I get into the angel story.
It breaks it down. I mean, whether you call them plasma beings and I call them angels, it's some kind of energy, something.
There's something.
Yeah.
There's some kind of grand, like I say, there's some kind of grand conspiracy going on this planet, and clearly because we have all kinds of stuff going on that it's bizarre. I mean, think about it. If it was really the way that they sell us, like this is the way the world is and it sucks and it's boring and it's physical and that's all you get and then you die and there's no God. If it was really like that, what's with the ghosts, man?
We don't.
Yeah.
What's with the people being able to astro project? What's with the Bigfoot? What's with the ETs abducting people and why all this and talk of mermaids, and I could go on and on. Like
any physicist worth their salt's going to tell you there's many dimensional planes. Like
and to think we understand what's going on at this little level we're at is just.
Oh yeah, we made matter, but we just made a couple of little things there. It's like we didn't create. They will try. But our understanding is still primitive. But I mean, if you're willing to extrapolate and look a little bit past our immediate, because we're only as good as our tools, right, around us. Like if you're willing to use your brain as your primary tool instead of being dependent solely on the physical reality, and I think that's where the crossover is. You've got people that only understand what they can touch and see. Once you are aware that there is way more than that, that's when you're able to start doing, making the integration, I think.
Our REF said, "What's with the cute winky frog and the cigar?" Well, let me explain that. So this is Pepe, and hold on, that it would be this hand.
This is Pepe.
There would be two Pepes if she wasn't in front of a green screen.
So then we have Pepe on my shirt, which is he's green, so now he's part of the green screen. So he's a library. So there's Pepe on my shirt, and then this would be our. Well, we wanted to have Pepe on the couch, like all like laid up with a robe and a pipe. Show him your pipe. But
yeah, I didn't even do the whole bit, right?
But it kind of went weird tonight. The sound went wrong, and we had to fix. And then we didn't expect the DNC convention. The RNC convention to be going on tonight. Yeah, and so Pepe was supposed to have a pipe, and he was supposed to be laid up on the couch, like just. But it didn't work out. This was the only Pepe we could use. So now Pepe is sitting next to me, smoking a stogie. I don't know. It works.
We tried. It looks cute. I like him.
I mean,
he's chilling.
It helps.
He's winking. He's got some secrets. It's the conspiracy couch. He's even got a monocle. I mean, he looks like, Pepe the Monopoly guy. That's great.
Yes.
Boardwalk
Pepe.
Right.
We got to. I just realized it's. We got like 10 minutes. It's been 2 hours.
Whoop whoop.
Right.
Chatting
so
away.
I was gonna say, Ranger, I wanted you to call in. But I mean, there's literally, we're gonna have to kill this in about 5-7 minutes. So yeah, Pepe, for those that don't know, he's like we don't say the word because but he's like a 17 thing, and it's just kind of like he's like our mascot, really. Like we make him into all kinds.
I just had to explain that to my friend today too, that he was the mascot.
He's the 17th letter in the alphabets. That whole operation and movement that you'll hear about now in the mainstream.
Right.
Yeah.
Their chagrin.
Yeah. So it's the mascot. So whenever you see Pepe, that's what it represents. So, yeah. So, yeah, Ranger, if you want to call back in for the last 5, if not, we'll close with I have mental blocks with certain words. Colodro. I said it.
Colodro.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Woohoo! Yeah. So, well, maybe I should cover a couple things since we're gathered here this evening.
As we are gathered here this
evening. So yeah, so Space Force News will be Sunday at 6 p.m. Pacific, right here on this
9
channel.
9 p.m. Eastern.
Yes,
yep.
And we're gonna be making some changes and doing everything very, kind of a little more official. We'll put it that way. And so yeah, we'll be doing that on Sunday, and we go over science and technology and Space Force stuff, and yeah, and then for those of you that have seen the Pink Patriot Hour and watched the Pink Patriot Hour, some things have changed, and Kate and I will be now doing the Pink Patriot Hour. The name will change slightly. It will be the Pink Patriot Podcast, and it will now be on the Kate Awakenings channel. That starts September 2nd, and our first guest when we come back with the new dynamic is going to be Judith Rose. She was just she's the Democrat girl that recently made the conversion to becoming a Trump supporter, and she's been very vocal on Twitter, and so she was just on Red Pill 78. Anyway,
what'd you say, Judith Rose?
Yeah, Judith Rose.
She'll
be our first guest.
Her.
Next, and that's Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Pacific on Kate's channel. And what else do we need to cover? Like and subscribe to Keystone channel. She does awesome work in the 17 community. She's holding it down for Europe. We're very appreciative of her. And Colodro, awesome channel. If you guys haven't checked his stuff out, go and check his stuff out. His his Looking Glass video went viral. He did a really, really good video.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Awesome.
You taught so many people with that video. So appreciative for that. I've told you that
I love
before.
that stuff. I hope one day when some stuff lightens up, I could do more stuff like that.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah. Keep doing what you do, man. Like, someday you got to come on so I can sit down and talk to you and interview you and really get, your story and stuff, because I would love to do that. So we got to do that.
Oh, I would really like that. Yeah, that would be really cool.
That would be awesome. And he's just
definitely keep in touch with that, whenever you want.
For sure. Anyway, it was really nice, you guys, hanging out with us tonight. We know RNC, we weren't expecting that. We knew this was a very crazy time to go ahead and have this opening night, but we really appreciate you for coming over and supporting us and hanging with us. And if you'd like to support Foil and I, you want to make a donation to the show, there's a link in the description for her, and then there's also a link to support me. I'm not monetized yet. There's a Venmo link down there for the channel itself for Foot N5D. So that's about it. Am I forgetting anything, Foil?
That sounds about right.
Colodro, thank you.
All right. It has been fun. I will talk to you guys soon.
Have a wonderful evening.
All right, you guys too.
All right, bye.
Take care.
All right, so I guess we'll go ahead and say goodnight. It's been awesome. We will see you next. When are we doing this every week?
Thursday.
Friend? Are we doing it every week, or are we doing it like every other week?
Whatever makes you happy, dear. I'm down. Either way.
Okay, to be continued. So, I guess we have to decide this. Hey, Becky, Joe. I see a lot of new names in here. Russ Rath, Chase Taylor, Cads, Potter. Yeah. Anyway, awesome. Thanks, you guys. Good night.
Peace out.
2 hours long. Yeah, man.